Hallo, willkommen zurück zu The Zodiac Trial. Im letzten Part haben wir das kleine Schlupfloch im Plan von Brian gefunden und wissen jetzt, wie wir jeden retten können. Zumindest glauben wir das. Wir werden nämlich das Sheep-Major-Trinket nutzen, wo man die Rollen und die Persönlichkeiten eines anderen Spielers übernimmt. Und dann das Major-Trinket nutzen, das ich mit Sheep, mit Dog und Bunny gefunden habe. Dies lässt er nämlich das vorherige Item nochmal benutzen. Damit können zwei Leute also ihre Persönlichkeit ändern. Und das sollen die Traitor machen. So können wir alle entkommen. Yes. Danach haben wir in einem Computerlabor ein paar Hinweise gefunden, die uns dann einen Code für ein Minor Trinket verraten haben. Und zwar das von Pick. Und darin verbunden wurden die 9, die keiner kannte, Ox mit der 2, Tiger mit der 3 und Bunny mit der 4, die jeweils jede ein Wort zugeschrieben bekam. Ox bekam Tool, also Werkzeug, Tiger bekam Killer, also Mörder, und Bunny Complicit, also Komplize. Ob das ein Hinweis auf den ganzen Plan, das ganze Gerichtsverfahren hat, wer weiß das schon. Und nun kommt ein Problem. Mal gucken.
So, hold on a second. We spent an entire round and we didn't find anything? That's like really bad, isn't it?
We're starting to run out of time. It'd be an awful shame if we weren't able to find enough trinkets by the end.
It would be, so why are you saying it like that?
Like what?
Whatever. I don't have time to deal with you.
We've been rather methodical in our search up until this point, have we not? Nobody's been going over ground that's already been searched. If we continue to look for trinkets in vain, things could become quite vexing. You're telling me? We've already done a full tour of this place. What's next? Going back to a place we've already seen? Huh, how dreary. Have some of y'all not been doing your fucking job? How hard is it to find these things?
Perhaps they are being found, but simply not shared.
What are you talking about?
We are currently under assumption that everyone is on the same page. However, it is possible.
Oh, can it? Would you, Snake? First of all, we only need one more trinket. I can use my ability to hitch a ride on one of you guys. I'm sure there have been places we haven't checked yet, so let's keep looking. I understand the concern. If a mere 2 trinkets are out of reach, the entire enterprise falls apart. I am not entirely unconvinced. Brian forgot to label one of his minor trinkets. What are you talking about? Earlier, I found something in the library which has the same shape and build as a trinket. But there's nothing written on it. No code or anything.
A blank trinket, huh?
Ist das vielleicht das Pick-Trinket, für den wir den Code haben?
Was there anything else notable about the scene?
Not really. There was a written message that was odd. I have stolen blood for my kin. I didn't really get it though.
Stolen blood from my kin, huh? A thought crossed through my mind. Something that had stuck out like a sore thumb to me was the fact that certain minor trinkets had specific numbers written in red. Hey, everybody, could we put our minor trinkets on the table right here? I want to try looking at all the ones we've got so far.
Wir haben von ein paar, zum Beispiel das von Bunny, falsch, von Monkey und Pig hatten auch eine rote 6, glaube ich.
I asked, and the group complied. There were 3 instances of numbers in the sequence being colored red. One's on the first digit, one on the third, and one's on the fourth.
It seemed too important to be coincidental.
If the missing trinket had a red digit as well, that'd be 4 numbers. Like a 4-digit code. So, what was I supposed to just take whatever number was written in red and put that in the place for an original 12th trinket? If that were the case, then we wouldn't be able to solve this trinket until we found the missing one. But the solution seemed overly simplistic. And I felt like there was some pattern I was seeing with the numbers, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. I spent some more time looking at the other trinkets. Some of the others had already split off to look for trinkets themselves. But I was onto something. Suddenly, I realized the pattern I had been overlooking.
Ist es vielleicht 2, 3, 4, 9?
All the 4-digit codes without a red number were divisible by 9. Every single one of them. And every 4-digit code with a red number wasn't. So that meant perhaps the red number was some sort of a false number. And the real number would be the number that made the 4-digit code divisible by 9. So for the code 3476 with the number 6 written in red, The real number should actually be 4.
Warum? 3, 10, 14, 18. Ach, wegen 18. Okay.
If my theory was correct, then the minor trinket Ox found should end with a 4. I worked out the other red numbers and got the code 5x24. 5x24, huh? No, if only I had the last number. Wait, what was I talking about? If all the codes were divisible by 9, I had solved it. I had pieced together an 11 trinket. Maybe. Honestly, a lot of my deduction was based off of guesswork. I had no assurance that I was actually right in my line of thinking. Well, there was really only one way of telling this for sure. I made my way into the empty classroom and took out my tablet. I pressed the item button, and I typed in 5724.
Ist es wegen 1, 2, 3, 9? Weil. Warte, welche Zahl fehlt? Die 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. 2 plus 3 sind 5, plus 4 sind 9, plus 9 sind 7. Ne. 2, 3, 4, 9. Ergibt schon 19. Deswegen macht es keinen Sinn, keine Ahnung.
When I submitted it, I was worried it would be met with an error. However, to my surprise and delight, the code had worked. Yes! I cheered it audibly. What is it? Ox entered. He had been watching me work in silence for some time now. I figured it out. I just inputted the code for the 11th minor trinket.
Oh, well, good for you. It appears we will all be able to finish things in the next 2 rounds thanks to you. Very solid work.
Oh, thanks.
However, I must say, weren't you supposed to use the ability on one of us?
What now? Oh, well, you can use your ability. I'll move first, so you move 1 space after me. And then you can use the code I just inputted next round, and I'll use my ability on you. That should get everything sorted, right?
Indeed, it should.
Aww.
Ich traue ihm nicht.
And like that, we had a plan. After a brief celebration, we gathered everyone back at the cafeteria, and told them the good news. Needless to say, everybody was very enthused that the nightmare would soon be over. Let's go. Thank God this is finally over.
I must say, there wasn't much of a climax to the action. The tension just kind of slowly fizzled out.
Well, thank God for that. Anyway, I suppose that means we should all use the minor trinket this round, right?
Correct. 2 more rounds and we're done. 2 more rounds.
2 more rounds, but it wasn't like there were anything to be worried about. There were no more obstacles in the way of group unity. People hung around in the general area of the cafeteria, going to private rooms to input their actions at their leisure. While there was still some tension, people were far calmer than they had been before. I heard a number of people breaking into conversation.
Yay! Small talk.
I just don't get why my dog can't learn basic tricks. They're not hard at all. I could do them.
See, this is why cats are better. They just chill. They don't do tricks, and you don't expect them to.
Tiger, have you been using positive reinforcement when teaching your dog a trick? With that? It's training a brain to connect positive stimuli with a certain pattern of behavior. Pavlov actually made great strides in the field by... This is going to be boring, isn't it?
Gar nicht wahr! Pavlovs Hund ist voll cool!
I don't think so.
So the answer is yes.
Monkey frowned.
Oh, Monkey! I guess I just don't get it. Aaron Morris did kill Amadeus Bone, right? I thought it was proven. Of course he did. I proved it myself.
There really isn't any other way for it to have gone. I investigated all the suspects myself. You include Mr. Rooster. To be honest, I thought it was the secretary. First, good thing for her that the artist's testimony backed her up.
So if it's all clear, so why is this guy so sure his dad is innocent? Delusional, most likely. His son couldn't reconcile his nice fathers with the act of murder. His dad wasn't a bad person, so the bad people had to be elsewhere. A childish mindset through and through. Even if he killed Amadeus, that doesn't make the man a bad person. I mean, that's what's saying about ill dead people or whatever, but fuck that dude. He sucked big time.
Really? I don't know so much about that. All I know is that the public certainly loved him.
For once, Rooster's right. I certainly don't condone murder, but I didn't exactly weep for Amadeus Bowen. After looking into the case, there are certainly many bad stories about the man. Ox gets it. Dipshit refused to ever invest any funding into my films. Artless cretin. Well, that wasn't exactly what I was referring to, but whatever. Okay, Background-Wissen. For the most part, I kept to myself. I was just going over everything in my head, overwhelmed by it all. Oh, wow. Irgendwie noch zu fröhlich alles hier. When you're around ended, I already moved 11 spaces, except for Ox, who moved 10. That was that then. One more cycle would tell things. We were finally reaching an end. Enough time had passed, so I decided to go into a nearby classroom to input the code for my mana trinket. Finally, with this, the nightmare would be over. It was the last thing I needed to do to settle things once and for all. I walked into the room and activated my ability on Ox, similar as that. Things were now settled. However, before I could leave the room, a voice crackled on over the speakers. Well, are you happy, Mouse? Happy that you were all able to band together to finish things without any casualties? I imagine you aren't. You think so little of me. Mouse, you must understand this too was an outcome I intended to be possible. Granted, I didn't think it likely, still, it was always on the table. If you all were truly innocent of your heart, you wouldn't be easily swayed by my words. You'd be calm, rational, work as a group and evade the traps set for you. And we did just that. Doesn't it prove you wrong? Prove that you going through all this trouble was not for nothing? Perhaps. However, I wonder how many times you would have had to fail before you could get a success like this. 9 Mal, mindestens. Had to fail? What the hell does that mean? Had this outcome been the result of a cosmic dice roll? I was just wondering how many times God would have to roll those die to see something like this. I imagine quite a few times. I imagine more often than not, your sin will doom you. Sounds like a lot of bullshit coming from a soul loser. I don't know how little you think of us, but I know for sure that no matter how many times you put us through this, we'd always band together. Maus, ich würde sagen, lehn dich mal ein bisschen zurück, bitte. If you say so. You can only act smug for so long, Brian. Soon enough, we're going to be out of this place, and then you're going to jail for a long time. Indeed. I imagine the police won't look too favorably on all of this. My only regret is that I won't be able to land a punch on your face myself. You know, if you really want to, I'll let you. For a second, my body froze. What do you mean? Outside the school, there's a football field. There's a small building right beside the fence surrounding that field. I've been using that as my base of operations. So if you want to come find me, to get justice for yourself, that's where I'll be. Can you tell me this because... Think of it as a reward for a perfect victory. I look dumb to you. It smells of an obvious trap. No way in hell I'm going to go there by myself. Suit yourself. Just thought you might like to know. With that, the speaker's cut off. Jeez, even after his game has failed, Brian still found ways to piss me off. What did he think he was doing, telling me his location like that? That just didn't make any sense. Whatever, why bother? Thinking about it for too long. Why bother? Yeah. Falsche Betonung. I started out of the classroom I had taken shelter in, back to the cafeteria. There, I continued to wait. As the run's deadline got closer, more and more people took excursion to separate rooms, all presumably inputting the code for the minor trinkets, bringing them to victory. I didn't pay them too much mind. I was still busy fuming about Brian. However, something in particular caught my eye. That something was dragging, angrily pulling Snake down the hallway towards the very end of the round. That didn't look good. I knew it wasn't my place, but I thought it strange, not to mention a little bit disconcerting. Conflict of any kind, this late in the game, didn't sit well with me. I thought about falling after them to see exactly what the matter was, to see if I could perhaps resolve it. Ich meine, ja, komm. I should really stop conflict of any kind in the head before it gets out of hand. We're in a delicate balance with lives in the balance. However, slight chance, I didn't want that to be undone by people acting like children. And so, I followed Dragon and Snake into the classroom. There they were already at their throats. I know I didn't like you from the moment we were up together. Now at last, I know that's the case.
Dragon, please, take a moment to consider how ridiculous you are acting right now. First of all, I'm not even familiar with these scorpions in the first place.
Hey, whoa, break up, you two.
What the hell's going on right now?
Just stay out of it, Bal. This business is between Snack and myself.
No, I don't think so. I think it is.
But then the speakers in the room kicked on. I heard a sigh.
You just had to interfere, didn't you, Mouse? Whatever. This works well enough, I suppose.
What's that supposed to mean?
Instead of answering, I heard movement around my neck. Movements? The only thing that should be moving on that part of my body was... I felt the pain before I realized what was about to happen. Wofür? It was excruciating. I had never felt anything like it before, and I never would again, because this was the last thing I felt in my life. The absolute pain of the knives entering my neck, the blackness surrounding me as my senses fled, and the confusion as to what was even happening. Normally, I'd be outraged by the unfairness of it all, but for that to be the case, I have to be in a state where I could think straight, enough to realize that it wasn't fair. Instead, all I felt was pain, until I didn't. Was passiert? Was? War das denn gerade?
Ace of Hearts.
Almost there.
We're nearly there. However, most presents in the fight between Snake and Dragon will muddy things up. There's a better way to deal with her.
Was? Also nicht mitgehen, oder wie? After thinking about it some more, it really wasn't my place to intervene in every single petty squabble that had happened. They were both adults. They could work things out themselves. Best to let things play out naturally. As the two walked down the hallway, I didn't pay them mind. However, as the minutes passed, I couldn't help but notice that they hadn't yet returned. Even as everyone else was gathered around the TV, even as the round-end announcement was about to go off, they weren't here. The hell? Before I could think about it too much, the screen finally got on.
Here's the moment of truth.
What shouldn't have been tense suddenly felt as such.
Round 9 has ended. Now let us see how the race has progressed.
Lass mich raten. Snake und Dragon gehen beide nicht voran.
The rat has hit a sneaky right on Ox. The Ox had used a minor trinket. The Ox has moved to the finish line. Thanks to the sneaky ride, the rat also moves to the finish line. The tiger has used a minor trinket. The tiger has moved to the finish line. The bunny has used a minor trinket. The bunny has moved to the finish line. The dragon has failed to input an action. The snake has failed to input an action. The horse has used minor trinket. The horse has moved to the finish line. The sheep has used the sheep has moved to the finish line. The monkey has moved to the monkey has moved to the finish line. The dog has moved minor trinket to the finish line. The pig has used minor trinket and the pig has moved to the finish line. The finish line has been crossed. The winners are mouse, ox, tiger, bunny, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. Congratulations. Anyone who has not won has lost. Prepare for execution.
Click. What? What the hell was that? This! I didn't even register the fact that the collar around my neck had become unlocked. That couldn't possibly be right, could it? No way, it just wasn't possible. We had won. We had worked together. We had beaten Brian's game. So why was it ending like this? Why did we still have 2 casualties? The others looked similarly confused. What on earth?
Hey, is there a mistake here or something?
This isn't good.
We should check on those 2 to see what has. Monkey didn't finish her sentence. She didn't need to. We got the picture. Everybody, they went this way. I took initiative, leading the group to where I knew Dragon's Snake had gone. I hurriedly walked to a scene that I didn't want to see. Unfortunately, as I peered into an open classroom down the hallway, my fears were confirmed. No! The others crowded around to see the executed bodies of Dragon and Snake. I didn't need to do a thorough check to know what had happened. The blood on the floor, on the necks. It painted the picture just fine. What? Why didn't they input their actions?
Those guys. Damn it. Were they seriously so caught up in an argument that they didn't notice the time limit for the round? This is why I said we shouldn't have all input on actions at the start of the round.
That's what happened. And it's a pretty dumb way to die. Believe me, I've seen a lot of dumb ways.
Oh, for the love of... Shut up, dog!
Actually, I don't think that's what happened. Look, Dragon is gripping onto Snake's tablet and vice versa.
So what are you saying? They got the tablets mixed up?
There's no way. Each tablet has its respective animal drawn on its back, very clearly.
Ich glaube, die beiden wollten sich davon abhalten zu wählen. Maybe they forgot what the animals look like. A dragon's kind of like a snake when you think about it. Oh mein Gott, das wäre so lustig.
Rooster, I do not believe jokes are appropriate at this time.
Right. And...
Never mind. I don't think this is a simple mix-up. The two were arguing before, right? Maybe one deliberately operated the other's tablet to kill them. What? It's possible. If you want to kill someone, this would be the prime time to do so. But both of them are dead. How do you explain that?
perhaps whoever was killed lunged out and operated the other person's tablet as they were being executed?
Is that possible?
I think so. Especially if the first one down was someone vengeful like Dragon. All these words were blurring together. I'd stopped listening a while ago. Then I was just seething, hating, just angry, very angry with Brian. Furious with him. Furious with this bullshit game. I remember his smacked voice when I told him that we had won. Did he expect something like this would happen? Did he instigate it? Regardless of the truth of the matter, Brian had now crossed the line. To kidnap us was one matter. To kill two of us is something entirely else. But how to? I took off my collar. Oh, shit's getting serious! Im nächsten Part wird Maus mal Brian die Viten lesen und in den Arsch treten. Woo! Maus, you go girl. Ich danke fürs Zugucken und wow, was für eine Änderung. Selbst das beste Ende hat nicht das Beste im Sinn. Unglaublich. Unglaublich. Woo! Dann bis nächstes Mal und vielleicht im letzten Part. Wir werden sehen. Ich meine, langsam kommt alles zum Ende hier, nicht wahr? Ich glaube aber, etwas kommt noch. Von daher, bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss.